angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth was stone or ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. Thank goodness it is Friday. I am so glad that it's Friday. Another end to a week. Any updates as far as we're concerned? Let me think. Can't think of anything in particular. I do have that video that I shot with this cheesy little video camera. I need to get it put up. It's just me putting together a vinyl decal, not a big deal. Haven't got it put up. In fact, I just got yesterday's monologue put up. It should have popped up on YouTube like literally right before we went live. So that's about it. I will be a little more expedient about getting today's monologue put up. In fact, it'll probably be put up right after the show. So before we get into that, I do have something I'm going to talk about, and unfortunately it's maybe going to sound a little like a broken record, but it's not. It's a totally different situation, totally different case, totally new level of insanity. Gosh, I can't even think of the word to describe it. The inhumanity of it is unbelievable, in my opinion. Before we get that, though, I said this kind of last night towards the end of the monologue, and I want to say it at the beginning of this monologue because I want to make sure it gets out there. And that is a big thank you for those that participate with our Amazon affiliate link. And you can find that link in the description of the live show video or the monologue videos, or you can go to the watchmannews.com and get it. It's over there at preppernurse1.com as well. And the reason why I want to extend a serious thanks to you is last month, I think we got just shy, I think, of $50 last month in revenue. And this month already we are looking at $34.78. That's already. Now, there's a 2 months deferred on that. So like this we won't see until... well, of course, it's not done until the end of the month, but we won't see it for another 2 months. Last month's earnings we won't see for yet another, say, a little over a month and a half or so. So it is 2 months deferred, but it is what it is, and I thank you very, very much. This is awesome. I can't believe how well this is doing. And cool stuff. I can't see like who buys what, and I'm glad I can't. I don't want you guys to be nervous, so I'm going to show you what I can see, okay? Just with the summary, this is this month so far. There's been 170 clicks on links. That is freaking awesome. That is great. 402 impressions, which is awesome. And again, we're up to $34.78. So what it does show me, let me show you what it does show me. It just shows me what items are ordered. Okay, it doesn't go into any detail about who ordered it or anything like that. This was the item I thought was really cool that somebody ordered, and I'll click on it so you guys see that I don't see anything. It just takes me to the product. So anyway, this wind turbine, that is like really, really cool. $176.99, 500 watts for the 12-volt model. That is cool. That is like ultimately cool. So anyway, I wanted to give thanks, and if you are so inclined to shop on Amazon, please use our link because that's going to help out. Like I was explaining yesterday, I put out, by the time I got an SD card, I put out roughly $65 for a video camera that I thought was going to be a hell of a lot better than what it is. So, and that happens, it's crap, okay? So I got to do it all over again. I'm not going to send this one back. It's going to have its use. Anytime we're doing something to where there's a possibility that it could be damaged or something, I'll use this one. I'll use this cheap one. But I do need something that's a little better quality because we are going to be utilizing it, including putting us on camera during the monologues for some of the shows. So probably, I'm hoping quite a few of the shows. At least during the monologue, you'll see us at the desk. So I can't do that with this camera that I got. I thought I was going to be able to when I bought it, but I can't. So the best thing that somebody can do in that position is when I realize I made a mistake, then talk to somebody who's got a camera that will do the functions that you need it to do, and which I've done that. I talked to Prepper Nurse 1. His camera is like ultra clear. It is really clear. It's not 4K or anything like that, but it's a really clear 1080p, a really good quality camera, and it does support Wi-Fi and doing a live and all that stuff. So anyway, I think it's going to be a perfect match for what I'm looking for. However, they're pretty expensive, but I'm willing to get a used one on eBay, and I found one for like $139. Now, that one's probably not even there anymore. It might be, I don't know. But I could find them used in that range, around $130, $140 used in that range. So that's where this is going to go. And unless we somehow have money come our way, a substantial amount to be able to make that kind of a purchase beforehand, then I'm just going to save this up, and that's where it's going to go. So it does help us. And then beyond that, it's going to help us get different items for prepping and survival, which we will be using the camera to do reviews on to show you guys. Plus, we'll be doing a bunch of do-it-yourself kind of stuff. So this really helps, folks, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, and there's no strings attached. You just use our link when you go and shop on Amazon, and it throws a little bit our way. And I do mean a little bit. It's like roughly between like 6 and 8% on the sale is what it throws our way. So, and it even shows that, like earnings. That roughly $177 wind turbine, we got $14.16 out of that. So you see what I'm saying? It's not even 10%. Some things they rate differently. You have to look. They've got a list on the type of items, and some items you only get like 1% on. But on average, it's around 6 or 8%. So anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody participating in that. Let others know that we are participating in that if they will as well. Like I say, it helps us, and it's going to turn around and help you. So anyway, just wanted to do that. Oh, I was gonna check this out real quick. Last month, because I wanted to be accurate with what I told you. 44.83 were our earnings last week. So that's awesome. That is like really, really awesome. I said last week. I mean last month. So anyway, let me get off of this and let's get to the topic at hand. So I know a lot of people are going to think, man, you must really go out to dig this stuff up. Man, you're just horrible. No, the problem is this is an epidemic in the country, and this stuff comes my way. And I don't mean sent my way. I mean, I scroll through Facebook or other forms of social media, and I run across this stuff. Okay, I think Jen ran across this one. I think she was scrolling through her Facebook feed, and somebody had shared it. She had kind of pointed it out to me. I'm like, send that to me. Folks, I don't go looking for this stuff. This is how bad of an epidemic that this is, okay? So I'm not going to spend a ton of time with the monologue today. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to go over the news headlines. I'm going to talk about that where needed and get moving on, because we will be joining up with Prepper Nurse 1 tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so I'm going to try to get as much done as I possibly can. So what are we talking about? Well, there's a video on Facebook, and it's right here. And, well, let me read you the caption here. It says, Missouri man in hospital with stage 4 cancer. Police officers show up to search for marijuana. Okay? This is insane. Let me go ahead and play the video, and then there's a little update underneath the caption there. There's a little update. I'll tell you that update, which makes it even more upsetting. and we'll go from there. So let me play the video, and we'll go from there.
Have you called Ray?
Yeah, Ray's Ray was yelling at everybody, but this is what, when you have stage 4 pancreatic cancer, all my tribe mates. Here they are. I had some capsules that had some THC oil in them. I took them outside on the parking lot.
You know, I can get a whole list of physicians that will tell you that what he's using manages his pain.
These are all the
his
people. This is
appetite,
Tim Roberts.
His weight loss.
This is Tim Roberts, but I am going to get arrested. They already told me I'm going to get arrested.
If we find
every single one
marijuana,
of you would be using the same thing.
Here we go, folks. Stage
if we
4.
find marijuana, we'll give you a citation. We're not taking you down to the county jail. But we haven't found marijuana, so we're not citing.
Well, I mean, why are you digging in stuff? I told you where I took it.
Because we got a call. You don't.
But you got a
don't
call?
think we would respond to calls?
But
Okay.
who? So I can call on anybody?
No, listen. Let's let them
All right.
look and do their job. And
If you ain't got anything to hide, then.
I want to know why it's a big deal if it is really illegal.
It's illegal.
It's really illegal in Missouri now.
THC oil.
Medically in Missouri, it's really legal now. They just haven't finished the paperwork.
Okay, well then it's still.
But I
illegal.
don't have time to wait for that, man. What would you do? Tell me what you'd do.
I'm not
If it
in
was
that
your only-
situation, so I'm not gonna play the what if game.
You've never said you'd do anything to save your life. You'd do anything to save your life.
Marijuana
If you had 5 kids,
Listen.
It's-
It's not worth the argument right now. Do your jobs, okay? We're not going to have the debate. Hush up.
it's the only choice I got to live, man.
I know. You've been straight up with every single physician about the.
I told them all. I've told everyone. I've told people here in this hospital that I'm doing it.
He doesn't take opioids because he takes the THC.
I have to tell the doctors I'm taking it for the other medications, so it's my right to live, man.
It kind of stinks.
We're Americans. I was born here. It's my right to
For
live.
Nolan, it's okay.
Come on, I need you to calm
Let it
down.
down.
I am calm, man. Because I was waiting for somebody to do this. Somebody to make me famous.
Elijah, or Nolan.
Hi, Elijah. You called me Eve, eh?
It's late, dude. It'd be
Did
okay.
Ryan watch that show?
She did. He's okay.
Searches under bag. He's on your own property.
Hey, thank you.
Hi guys.
Hi, Doc.
Hi, Dr. Smoking. Hi.
Hi.
You gracious.
We got a call saying that there's marijuana in the
I
room.
smelled marijuana whenever I walked in the room.
Okay.
And there is no way they could smell it, Doc, because I don't smoke it. I don't ever use a ground up plant. It's an oil that I use in a capsule.
THC
Okay.
oil.
So there's no smoking it.
Okay.
I mean, you don't smoke. I take it like a pill.
Well, no, we have not found
I put
anything,
olive oil in.
but he's got another bag that
Do you guys, just from a legal standpoint, do you have probable cause to search his stuff? Do you have the right to search his stuff, or do you need a warrant for that?
No, we have the right. He's on private property.
Okay. Okay. So what's the proceeding here? Because he needs to be here, and if you take him to
Okay,
jail...
we're going to
He's going to jail now.
Oh, okay. Because if we take him,
If we
it's not
found-
problematic.
Cannabinoid,
If we found any marijuana,
receive a
he would receive a citation. We haven't found any marijuana yet, so we're not citing it.
Okay.
We're just here because they called saying they smelled marijuana in the room,
Okay.
and we're trying to either, yes, there's marijuana, or there's no marijuana. And then if we find it, we'll cite it, we'll leave
We know
the citation.
We know you guys got to do your job.
Okay. He's got a bag there that
I opened my bag and I showed you that
Yeah,
plastic. That's
okay.
the only plastic bag that had it in. I showed you inside the bag, and that's all. I'm not giving you the
We can
bag.
just search it
I'm not giving you
and
the
declare
bag.
that there's no marijuana in
I'm
it.
not giving you the bag. Just write me a ticket for marijuana. I told you
We're
to
not
do
going to
it.
write you a ticket if we
I
haven't
got it right
found
here on my
marijuana.
finger. I did this. Yes, there it is. I got it.
Just take all their bags.
Write me a ticket.
We've already looked through
Remove all
these
their
bags. There's a bag behind
Remove
him.
their stuff and just take all their stuff off.
I just want to go home, Doc. I want her to take this off me. I want to go home.
Before you leave, can you and I talk before you leave? Because I think medical care would be indicated for you to stay. Can they just take all their bags and leave? They would take their
No,
bags.
these bags are all good now.
There's a bag behind them
Just
that we
one
need
bag.
to look through.
It is my bag of medication. I'm not letting them dig through it.
We're just worried.
It has my
we're
final.
just looking for marijuana.
It has my final day things in there, and nobody's gonna dig in it.
Okay.
It's my stuff.
To answer your question, though,
It's my
technically, if it wasn't on property,
final
yes,
hour
they
stuff
do
is
that.
in that bag, and that is my right to have my finals, and I'm not digging it out here in front of anybody.
Okay, can I ask?
If it
Can I-
seems necessary.
Can we just take their stuff and let them take every bag and just leave and just get out of here? I mean, is that possible? Yeah, just take all their stuff.
I want you guys to make good decisions, because this is Facebook Live, and I've got,
Okay, can I ask?
it's about 1,200 people right now.
So if we want to have a conversation, we'd ask you to turn this off right now, at least off
I
live.
will with you.
At least live, you can record all you want, but just take it off for live right now.
It's not on live, I don't.
I promise.
Okay, because otherwise nobody's going to help you out if you do this.
Hey, no, until we get the property. It's not helpful.
No one's
I don't know how to make it
no
not live.
one's going to help.
All the good
I don't know.
gotten out of it.
Get me on there. Get me on it. Hi. Please.
All right, so I want to point out a couple of things there. Number one, at the end there of the video, the doctor was saying, "I need you to take it off live because if it's live, nobody's going to help you." Help him with what? What did he do wrong? Somebody thought they smelled marijuana? Wow, that's an incredibly brutal crime. That we need to harass and humiliate a dying man because we thought we smelled marijuana. Well, you know what? In that situation, I would think that I would smell pork. I definitely would smell shit, lots of shit all over the room, without a doubt. Never-ending amount of that in the room at that time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, you know, the gentleman that's dying of stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and let me tell you what, my dad died of pancreatic cancer. When you get cancer of the pancreas, you're done. Okay, there's no bouncing back from that. You're done. It will wipe you out. This guy doesn't have a chance. And he's stage 4. Now, any decent human being, whether he's got a magical uniform and piece of metal on his chest or not, would have been like, oh, well, I'm not even going to deal with this. I'm not even going to address this. Not to mention, just like the guy said in the video, Missouri passed medical marijuana. They're just working everything all through in the back end right now. Okay, so yeah, technically I get it. It's still illegal. Ooh, marijuana, scary. Ooh. This is ridiculous. This is the war on drugs, folks, which is actually the war on you. Whether you use marijuana or not, it's still a war on you. Because you could be on your way to a business meeting and have several $1,000s in cash in a briefcase to do your business with, fully, completely legal business, and get pulled over. And because of the war on drugs, they can seize that money from you, civil asset forfeiture, and you'll never see it again without ever being charged with a crime. That insane? And that's brought to you by the war on drugs, folks. The same war on drugs that is causing this man to be harassed and humiliated by pieces of shit in uniforms that aren't even humane enough to say, you know what? We've got a dying man in here that's possibly self-medicating. We're not touching this with a 10-foot pole. You know, these dumbasses don't have the understanding. They can't even realize that just because they get a call right? Unless somebody is actually in harm's way, I don't see anybody's in harm's way there. Unless somebody's actually being a victim. Did you see a victim there? The only victim I saw was the dying man getting harassed and humiliated by the pieces of shit in blue. That's the only victim I've seen there. The only victim. My God. This is ridiculous. Now, I do want to clarify something that was said, but maybe a lot of people didn't kind of catch it. What he took was capsules, and it wasn't CBD oil in the capsules. I wanted to clarify that. This was the other form of oil. If you followed Rick Simpson and you understand, how he fought cancer and the oil that he was using and the oil that he had taught a bunch of people on how to make, that is the oil that he was referring to that was in the capsule, which I do believe is still technically illegal. So I just wanted to clarify that. But it's a shame because that's, if there's anything whatsoever known to mankind, or at least known to us, that could give this man any fighting chance whatsoever of beating his cancer, it's this. It's that oil. Because it's proven time and time and time again to help with cancer. But I'm telling you, pancreatic cancer, that's a doozy. That's a doozy. I do want to tell you about the update at the bottom because after all of that, it boiled down to this. There's an update right here. It says, update. Cancer patient had all officers leave the room except for one officer and allowed his final days bag to be searched. Marijuana was not found. Cancer patient was released from hospital next afternoon. Is this war on drugs worth it? Are these, I got a calls, worth it? There's only one thing that's going to fix this, folks. Only one thing. I'm telling you, we're not going to be able to vote in a fix for this. We're not going to be able to call our politician for a fix on this. We're not. It's not going to happen. These out-of-control idiots are not going to put themselves in check. It doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way one time in history. It waits for the people to get the courage to stand up and fight back and say, not no, but hell no. And that's where we're at today. We need to grow some balls like France, right? As ironic as that sounds, we need to grow some balls like France. Same answer that I've been bringing to the table now for years. It's just the people here are too complacent. Many people have too much to lose. They're, oh no, I can't, because this could happen, this could happen. To hell with what happens to my children. I don't want it happening to me. Who cares what my children's life are going to be like when they grow up? Because, see, when people make excuses, it's why we don't stand up and put a stop to this right now. That's all I hear, is that they don't give a fuck about their kids. There ain't nothing that makes me want to smash somebody in the face more than that. Flat out cowardly. Will let your kids have to deal with this. Because I might lose my big screen TV. I might lose all my comforts. What in the hell is wrong with the mindset in this country? Yeah, it gets me fired up. This directly involves our children. What do they think they're doing? What good could they possibly think they're doing with this? People say, well, they're not all bad cops, they're good cops. bullshit. Time and time and time again, I see a horde of these low-life losers, and not one of them are stopping it. Not one of them. And you could even see the shame on the guy's face, that the cop that was mainly talking. You could even see the shame on his face, but he doesn't have the balls because he's a fucking coward piece of shit. He doesn't have the balls to say, guys, we're not doing this, we're leaving. And let me tell you what would happen if he did do that. The ramifications that he would face with his brothers in blue would be never ending. Never ending. They would harass him until the day he died. Because that is the type... Where do you hear this from? Where does that sound like it comes from? The mob? It's what it sounds like to me. Sounds like the mob. Organized crime, which is exactly what law enforcement and government is. Organized crime. Again, I will ask you, who was the victim? Where was the victim? That they so needed to humiliate and harass a dying man for trying to take medication to save his life. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We got to do something. We got to do something, folks. We have to defend each other. We have to defend the meek. Why don't people understand that? Why don't people understand that at all? We're throwing away our children's futures. Look at the families that have elderly in nursing homes and don't even go to visit. So we're throwing away our elderly, we're throwing away our children and their futures. Why? Why? What is it in this life that is so worth it that will turn our backs on the most vulnerable? I don't get it. I don't get it. But I've always been one to stand up for the underdog. I don't know if that's because I've been the underdog for most of my life, or because it's just the morally right thing to do. I don't know. Anyway, let me run through the headlines and we'll go from there. Again, this is ridiculous. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And they're in there treating him like he's some huge criminal. The war on drugs is a failure, folks, in every single way. It's nothing but a war on you. Whether you do drugs or not, it is still a war on you. They will use the war on drugs as an excuse. Just like they use the war on terror as an excuse. Anytime they say the word war on, they're looking for excuses. They're looking for a power grab. Every time. Every time. Anyway, let's go through the headlines real quick. Heartbreaking surveillance video appears to show mail carrier routinely pepper spraying dog. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Happened in California. Something we don't hear happening very often. Not at all. And thankfully. U.S. House passes anti-hate resolution after lawmaker criticizes AIPAC's influence. Not a good thing, folks. I'm telling you, the war on hate. Just think about that. With what I just said, just think about the war on hate and think how it's going to be used against you to take away your First Amendment. High school senior shovel neighbor's driveway at 4:30 a.m. so she could make it to her dialysis. I thought that was an awesome story, so I shared it. That is incredible. Thank you, young men. These are men. I'm glad to see that there are still men among the boys. That is awesome. Congratulations to these men for being men. Chelsea Manning put in custody for refusing to testify on WikiLeaks. Yes. Absolutely insane. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are two people, right, that you can plead the Fifth Amendment on, that you don't have to testify against, and that would be yourself or your spouse. Two people. Unless you're a polygamist, then maybe 7 or 8, whatever. But anyway, two people, right? Essentially. So, by going in there, if this is about WikiLeaks, which what else would it be about, and testifying would be incriminating himself, would it not? See, this government doesn't care about the Constitution. Not in the least bit. Not in the least bit. Look at the Bundys. Right? Look at the Hammonds. Steering conservatives and policymakers, Google explains CPAC sponsorship in leaked audio. See? And a lot of people look to Google as being like a liberal, thing. Folks, it's where the money's at. That's all that matters. Is who puts the right amount of money in their pockets. That's all it comes down to. Absolutely insane. Germany won't ban Hawaii and ready to oppose U.S. pressure, says their economy minister. Teacher wins $10,000 for reading contract and proof that no one reads contracts. Apparently in their contract in the fine print, there was a contest. And just because they read the contract and seen that in there, they won it. Okay? So it's interesting. It is truly interesting. It's good. I mean, most of us don't read the contracts that we get ourselves in. When you sign up for a website, when you sign up for Facebook or YouTube or whatever, we don't read the contracts. Hardly anybody does. But this teacher did and won $10,000 as a result of it. Full obedience or tougher sanctions. U.S. says North Korea's step-by-step denuclearization is unacceptable. India stops waste plastic imports as China recycled commodities ban triggers trash crisis in the U.S. And I got to thinking about this because often when the topic of pollution comes up, everybody points the finger at China, right, as being the biggest polluter in the world. And yeah, they are, okay? But I wonder how much of that pollution comes from us sending our recycled plastics and stuff to them to be refined. You ever thought about that? So I wonder if you kind of offset that, the amount of plastics that we send them to be refined, if you took that pollution back and applied it to the United States, so to speak. I wonder what the statistics would look like then. Just curious. Venezuela blames sabotage and U.S. electricity war after major power outage. Now, there's something else in the news, too, about the Stuxnet virus, right? And it kind of makes me wonder if it might be related, okay? Very possible, very possible. Feds gorged themselves on lobster as part of $97 billion end-of-fiscal-year spending spree. Yeah. So we had chicken and rice for dinner today. It was actually pretty good. Enjoyed it. Chicken and rice, right? Not that I'm a fan of lobster or nothing, but, it must be nice. Must be nice. I would have settled for like a bunch of popcorn shrimp, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But they need to tax you more because they don't have enough money coming in, and the debt is getting bigger, right? So they need more lobster. More lobster. Insane. Insane, folks. U.S. spy drone base fully operational in Poland, but NATO bemoans Russian military buildup. Right? Russian, it's the Russians. It's their aggression, right? They're the ones building military bases all over the world, right? It's the Russians. Turkey says buying S-400 system vital to protect our 82 million citizens. And I would say so, because if you think about this, right, unlikely countries to attack Turkey or be involved in a skirmish over there to where, Turkey feels some fallout from, I would say that's more likely from the U.S. than it is Russia. So I would say they would need a defense system that would protect against, U.S. threats versus, say, Russian threats. So, makes sense to me. Not only that, the S-400 system, which is outdated by Russian standards, is still light years ahead of the U.S. system. So, come on. Why would you go, yeah, I need a new computer, but give me that Windows 95 computer over there, right? Because that'll help a lot. That's essentially, that's the same thing. Right? Why would you buy old, outdated, useless technology when you can buy something that works? Plain and simple. Plain and simple. We may never leave the EU. Theresa May issues warning to Brexiteer MPs before crucial vote on her deal. This is why they're building up. Folks, they've been stalling over there when it comes to this Brexit deal. Okay? And they've been getting everything in place because they know that if she pulls this, and I fully believe that she's going to pull this or try to pull this over on the people, there is going to be hell to pay. Yet another country that's actually standing up and doing something for themselves. Okay? So keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this, because if she doesn't get her way, I think all hell is going to break loose over there. Keep an eye on it. And lastly, Russian drone killer to complete trials in November of 2019, says their military. So they're hot and heavy on being able to defend against drones. So probably a smart move. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the monologue there. So those that are here for the live show, don't go anywhere. I always close up the monologue like this. I'm not closing down or anything. For those watching the live show, just stick around. Don't go anywhere. For those that just watch the monologue or the recording thereof, thank you very much. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.